Aloha ukulele friends, this is Neil Chin here, and welcome back to another ukulele lesson here at 4 Strings at a Time. Really excited today to share with you folks this month's lesson, as we're going to be exploring a little bit of finger picking. Yeah? Now, if you haven't done finger picking before, basically all it is just you're plucking or picking the strings with your fingers, okay? And there's lots of different ways that you can do it, lots of different styles and techniques. And I most definitely encourage you to look for, different ways to finger pick on your instrument. Okay. Now, as we get started with finger picking today, I'm going to show you a pattern and a style, that I got to learn from one of my ukulele teachers and is really near and dear to me. Not just for the fact that it's, kind of a sentiment, but also I find it to be really practical. Okay, there's lots of different situations where I feel like you can use a pattern like this. Okay, and this is what it sounds like. Okay, and it's a really simple, elegant pattern when we kind of take a look at it here. And so, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll break up our class like this, is that we'll do number one is we'll first, just kind of sequence our fingers, so to say, our right hand, of, what the pattern is. And then what we'll do after in the second part is we'll take a little bit of a closer look at, what the pattern is, so to say, maybe from a larger musical perspective, and then how it can fit rhythmically in other songs and we play with other people. Okay. So on that note, let's dig in. Now, the pattern itself. Okay, basically as we go through this finger picking pattern, we're just going to go back and forth between our thumb and our index finger. So it's always going to be thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index. And what can be really common for finger picking too is that, we'll assign, so to say, fingers to strings. Okay, and this is just a great way to kind of, as a jumping off point, I think, to kind of get your fingers moving. So for us today, what we're going to do is we're going to use our thumb to pick the G and the C string. And then we're going to use our index finger to pick the E and the A string. Okay, so anytime that you're picking one of the G or the C, it's the thumb. Or anytime it's the E or the A, it's going to be your index. Okay, and again, it gets this nice kind of motion going back and forth between our thumb and our pointer, our index finger. So let's take a look at the pattern here first. Okay, what we'll do is just a quick overview. Okay, it's a 6-note pattern. Okay, and it starts off by picking the 3rd string, the 2nd string, then it goes to the 4th string, and then the 1st string. Okay, and I know there's 2 more notes there, but I actually kind of even like to stop here as a little place to practice because it kind of works out nicely, because if you really think about it, aren't you playing the inside strings or the inner strings in the outside strings? It works out really well because, as the adage goes, if you can say it, you can play it. To say it out loud, to go inside, you go to the outside. Okay, let's do that a couple times together. All right, we'll go inside, outside. Let's do it again. Inside, outside. Okay. Now, just to complete it, we are going to add the 4th string and the 2nd string as our final 2 notes. And that completes our pattern of inside, outside, and now we've just added 4, 2. And that's how I like to vocalize it. Okay, again, it's inside, outside, 4, 2. Now, if you're new to the pattern, I would encourage you to pause the video right here and take a moment just to walk your fingers through the pattern, right, of inside, outside, 4, 2. At first, too, it may feel a little bit, kind of stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And I think that's totally fine. I encourage you to do that, too. Right? You may have to pause and think, oh, what do you say? Oh, yeah, outside, outside. Okay? Or something to the effect of that. Okay? Just the first part here is just to get the sequence with your hand. Okay? So, again, feel free to pause the video and practice a little bit of that inside, outside, 4, 2. Now, as we continue on in practice, your hands get a little more acclimated, so to say, to the pattern. A great goal to shoot for when we're playing a finger picking pattern, especially with this one, is to get a nice kind of quote unquote smooth effect so that each note is kind of falling at a nice equal, so to say, weight. Okay. And now this actually brings us to the rhythm, because I think that helps a lot. Okay. For this particular sequence, I want you to think of this as being in 6/8. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with that type of meter or reading that type of a rhythm, basically what that is I think of it as the rocking boat rhythm, right? As you're going, we would count it like this. You would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will say, there's a lot of great music that is in 6/8 that I encourage you to look for. On a side note. But in our sequence here, it works really nicely to think about this in 6/8, right? Because we can think about each note as being one of those little eighth notes that work in that rhythm, right? So you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or inside, outside, 4, 2. Inside, outside, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inside, outside, 4, 2. Inside, outside, 4, 2. Okay. And, kind of a fun little challenge that I would give yourself is just see how long you can sustain that. It's kind of like a little high wire kind of balancing act sometimes, of just kind of staying nice and steady on that pattern. And of course, friends, as always, this is your friendly reminder to make plenty mistakes. Right? It's in those mistake making, often is where we do a lot of growth, I should say, or we gain a lot of growth. So please make plenty mistakes, all right? As you go inside, outside, 4, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on how you want to think about that. Okay? All right. So we looked at, just as a recap, right, our little finger picking pattern, which is... We look at it so far first in a sequence, right, of going thumb, index, or picking inside, outside, 4, 2, okay? As we practice that sequence and build up dexterity in our right hand and so to say comfort in it, right, we can slowly start to apply it to the rhythm, okay? And here, playing in 6/8 is a great way to frame a pattern like this, okay? So in our case here, we count ourselves off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it repeats. And we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it almost has a kind of lullaby effect, if you will, which is just perfect for this season. Right? And I also find it, as just a little side note as we wrap up, okay, to be a great way to start tunes off, okay? Especially when you're playing by yourself, for example. All right, folks, thanks for joining us here at 4 Strings at a Time. Once again, my name is Neil Chin. I hope you enjoyed our finger picking lesson today, and I hope that you folks have a wonderful holiday season and an even better 2025. We look forward to seeing you in the new year and having lots and lots of more ukulele fun. So go out there and have fun, friends, and we'll see you next time. Aloha.